Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today's topic is refugee status. On one hand, the Trump administration halted the refugee program in January of this year, turned right back around, and in May this year, just this week, granted refugee status to white South Africans to come to America and settle, claiming genocide. We're going to look at a couple clips real quick showing the halting of the program and the restarting of the program for these white South Africans. Let's look at.
Cheryl, the people who've applied to be refugees in the United States, they're not here right now. They're somewhere else around the world, already displaced from their home country and applying to resettle here. The president sets the cap on how many people can be accepted from each region around the world. The process to get accepted can take months, even years, but for now, it is no more. With the stroke of a pen, President Donald Trump suspended the U.S. refugee admissions program, saying the country has been inundated with record levels of migration.
We were shocked but not surprised.
Mark Hetfield is the director of the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, an international organization that helps refugees resettle in the United States.
Asylum seekers are exercising a human right to seek asylum at the border, but they are essentially here uninvited. Every refugee who's resettled here was here invited.
He says that is the end of what could be a years-long process. Applicants who've already fled their home country, often because of persecution, but are not typically out of danger. They apply through the refugee admissions program, and they must pass interviews, a medical exam, and background checks, all while they wait in another country.
And you shouldn't shut down legal pathways for refugees to come here.
Hetfield says there are thousands of people from around the world already approved to come to the U.S. through the refugee program who, starting later this month, now cannot. And the stakes are high.
There's no question that some people will die.
Dozens of white South Africans have been granted refugee status by the Trump administration here in the U.S. The administration has worked to speed up the refugee process for the Afrikaners, the white minority that ruled South Africa during apartheid. The Trump administration has accused South Africa's black majority government of violence and discrimination against them. President Trump made the unsupported claims they're victims of genocide. The South African group arrived yesterday. Comes while the Trump administration has, for at least now, suspended efforts to resettle refugees from other countries around the world.
As you can see in those two clips, the contrast. We have a president and his administration that has decided that it's best to refuse refugee status to a certain group of people and grant that same status to a different group. So it shows us that there's room in this country for all, because I hear that the 59 or 60 that came from South Africa is only the beginning. But you shut down the status back in January for all refugees all over the world who were applying the right way. So in these next clips, we're going to show that the temporary protected status granted by the Joe Biden administration for some Haitians, Cubans, and Venezuelans has been revoked as well. And those people are now being deported from the country. And then I'll show you a clip where the South Africans arrived on our shores as those temporary protected status immigrants are being deported. Let's take a look at that right now.
We're also following breaking news that could impact the lives of many people here in South Florida and across the country. The Trump administration is revoking the temporary legal status of more than 1 million Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans. That's according to a Federal Register notice. The reason given, the parole programs were deemed ineffective in improving border security and inconsistent with current administration policies. It goes into effect April 20th. The move could leave hundreds of thousands possibly facing deportation. As of now, there have been no comments from the Trump administration.
Dozens of white South Africans have been granted refugee status by the Trump administration here in the U.S. The administration has worked to speed up the refugee process for the Afrikaners, the white minority that ruled South Africa during apartheid. The Trump administration has accused South Africa's black majority government of violence and discrimination against them. President Trump made the unsupported claims they're victims of genocide. The South African group arrived yesterday. It comes while the Trump administration has, for at least now, suspended efforts to resettle refugees from other countries around the world.
It's obvious to everyone around the world this Trump administration's stance on this issue. Bring in white immigrants, white refugees, deport brown and black refugees, some with legal status in this country already. Get rid of the brown and black immigrants. In the midterms next year, we're going to have to replace these Republicans and put Democrats back in office. Democrats will treat everyone the same. They will give protected status to those who are deserving of it. They will receive refugees from all over the world who are applying for it in the proper manner. Now we have another clip that I'm going to show you where clergy, the Episcopal Church, is refusing to participate in this resettlement effort of these African whites by the Trump administration. Their basis is simply because they think that it's discrimination and is race-based. Let's hear Bishop Sean Rowe's take on this matter so we can understand where the Episcopal Church is coming from when they're refusing to participate in this resettlement.
The reality is we felt like we cannot be ourselves as the Episcopal Church and take part in this step of resettling white Afrikaners from South Africa. The moral decision making for us has so much to do with the way in which this all took place. And the refugee resettlement program, which we've been a part of for more than 40 years, was basically shut down in January. So almost no refugees have been admitted to the United States since the end of January. People that have been waiting for years and are still waiting, who have been of service to this country, who are persecuted, are waiting to receive entrance. And this particular group has been fast-tracked over top of all of these others. So right there, that's problematic. And really, it's hard to imagine they fit the definition of refugee by most definitions. The president can certainly determine who he wants to admit to the country, but it just doesn't align with our values at this point.
We don't want to see people be.
I don't know what the administration's motivations for it is. I can't speak to that. But what it appears to us is that some people are being privileged over others, and it appears that white people are being privileged over people of color for no real apparent reason that data at least shows. So we feel like it's a line we've been asked to cross. Our hand's been forced, and we feel like we're doing the honorable thing and just asking to be released from our obligations.
The Episcopal Church and Bishop Sean Rowe is seeing this issue, this situation, through the same eyes and lenses that most of the world, especially Americans, are seeing it. It's blatant racism by the Trump administration. We know Stephen Miller and Elon Musk are the two main sources behind why this is happening. So once again, I'm going to give you a reminder of how all of this can change and be reversed. And that is by putting Democrats back in office. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had given protected status to nearly 1 million people just in the Florida area. They're all now being deported. So we want to get back to normal, get back to showing that America is that country that has morals, that accepts people into this country as refugees, as immigrants. Then we need to kick the Republicans out of office, guys. We just have to get them out of there because they are giving all of their powers over to the Trump administration. There is no pushback. There's 3 branches of government, and it only seems like it's one now. Most of the courts are giving in to Donald Trump. The legislative branch has given in to Donald Trump. The Republicans has the House and the Senate. You would never know that. All we know is what Donald Trump wants is what Donald Trump is getting. So I'm going to leave it right here. I'm going to ask you to comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this issue. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you disagree with me. This is America. Disagreement is a good thing. So I'll see you on the next one. All I ask is that you subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow, help my voice get out there, and like the video so it can reach other people. Okay, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the next video. I ask you guys to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you.